Ha, this guy's toast.
Since the release of Whispers of the Old Gods, there's been a lot of questions and bug reports about certain Cthulhu interactions. A lot of them. I've even received several of them directly from you guys as well. So today we'll be taking an in-depth look at the common confusion and interactions involving Cthulhu. And unlike most of my Hearthstone experiments video, this one will actually have useful information. But before we jump into it, I wanted to let you guys know about my Discord server. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's basically a free program where you can chat with other players through text or voice. Now, you could set up your own server with your friends, or you can join mine and be best friends with me and other Hearthstone fans. We can talk about Hearthstone topics like how many flame strikes is too much in the arena, and how do phase shamans sleep at night. Or if you have any Hearthstone questions, you can just ask me directly there and I will answer. So just hit up discord.gg/toast and join our Hearthstone community. Alright, so Cthulhu interactions. Let's just jump straight into them. We'll start with Doomcaller. Now, there's been a lot of reports of Doomcaller bugs on the forums. The most common reports are Doomcaller not bringing Cthulhu back after it was stolen and killed.
Sleep.
Symphony of terror begins.
Not bringing Cthulhu back after it was transformed and killed.
The symphony of terror.
Death is close.
Or not bringing it back after it was entombed or discarded from your hand.
My hand is too cold. The symphony of terror.
Well met.
Remember that Doomcaller's text says, if your Cthulhu is dead, shuffle it into your deck. A more accurate description would be, if a friendly Cthulhu has died, shuffle a copy into your deck. Meaning a Cthulhu has to die while it's on your side of the board to trigger Doomcaller. Having it stolen means it's no longer friendly. Transformation means it's no longer Cthulhu. And entombing or discarding it doesn't kill the Cthulhu, which is why none of these will work. Now, why do I say shuffle a copy into your deck instead of the original shuffle it into your deck? Well, just take a look at this interaction.
Sleep.
Who knows what secrets will uncover? The symphony of terror begins.
Give in to your fear.
The symphony of terror begins.
It was your fault.
With only one dead Cthulhu, we were able to get multiple copies of it from Bran as well as the second Doomcaller, meaning that Doomcaller isn't actually taking the Cthulhu from your graveyard and putting it into your deck, it just creates a copy of it and shuffles that into your deck. Next, let's take a look at 10 attack requirement minions. There's a lot of reports for them as well, mostly based on I silenced or Eldord or Humility the enemy Cthulhu, but his Twin Emperor is still triggered. Why is that?
The feast of souls begins.
That was a mistake.
Whenever you play one of the 10 attack requirement minions, the game will check 3 conditions. If any one of them is true, it will activate the minion's ability. First, it checks the ritual buffs. The ritual buffs are the bonuses from Cthulhu buffers like Beckoner of Evil. So basically, if you have 4 attack worth of ritual buffs, it will activate Twin Emperor's ability. It checks your board for Cthulhu and checks the attack of it if one exists. Which means temporary attack buffers like Abusive Sergeant will allow Twin Emperor to trigger.
Get in there and fight, maggot! Get in there and fight, maggot! The feast of souls begins now. Come, little ones.
Since there has been no ritual buffs played this game, the initial condition fails. But since the second condition is satisfied, the Cthulhu on the board does have 10 attack. This allows Twin Emperor to trigger. Lastly, it checks your hand for a Cthulhu, and if there is one, check to see if it has 10 attack. Here's the interaction it has with Mistcaller. We buff our Cthulhu up to 9 and play Mistcaller.
You cannot stop the cloud.
As you can see, this will not activate the Dark Mender yet, because none of the 3 conditions have been met. It is only until Cthulhu gets drawn and the Mistcaller buff is officially applied to it, does Dark Bender turn yellow.
Hey, give me that.
So most of the complaints is that people see a 1 attack Cthulhu on the board and assumes this will prevent Twin Emperor from activating. But since the first condition is satisfied, it will activate regardless. Another thing to keep in mind is, you don't actually need Cthulhu in your deck to activate the 10 attack minions. Here we create a deck without any Cthulhus and play several of its buffers.
Do you hear its call?
Job done.
Listen closely.
As you can see, we can still activate minions like Klaxi Amber Weaver and of course Twin Emperors without a Cthulhu. Another common confusion is what exactly your Cthulhu refers to. Every Cthulhu minion has this phrase, your Cthulhu. You have to understand that your Cthulhu does not refer to one single particular Cthulhu. Here, your opponent steals your Cthulhu, and some people might think, oh, then any Cthulhu buffers that I play will buff that Cthulhu, because that is my Cthulhu. But as you can see, this is not the case. Once it changes ownership, it is no longer your Cthulhu. The ritual buffs. As we mentioned earlier, ritual buffs refer to the bonus attack and health granted by Cthulhu buffers like Beacon of Evil and Twilight Elder. The most important thing about ritual buffs is that they are attached to the player, not Cthulhu. So if you get any new Cthulhu somehow, they will all be granted the same bonus as your old Cthulhu. Like with Mind Vision.
You have already lost.
The Cthulhu you get from Mind Vision uses the ritual buff attached to your player. Same with Mind Games, the Cthulhu that enters your side of the board uses your ritual buffs.
Are you my master?
Flee, screaming.
Master.
My dreaming ends. Your nightmare begins.
Same with Entomb, your ritual buffs.
I'm out of cards. Job's done.
Now, that just about covers most of the useful information. So let's take a look at a useless interaction. What's the cap for Cthulhu missiles? And what better way to answer that question than with a 1 billion attack Cthulhu?
I wonder. Time runs out on me.
And the answer is a measly 100 missiles. So you might just be able to kill a control warrior with it, or at least remove half its armor. Before we end the video, it's really important to understand that everything I've shown you is simply how these cards actually work. The purpose of the video is to let you guys know these interactions so that if you are faced with them one day, you won't make a bad decision. However, just because they behave this way doesn't automatically mean they should behave this way. When Brand Bronzebeard first came out, it didn't work with Echoing Ooze. It only created one copy despite the battle cry going off twice. Which sparked a lot of bug reports regarding it. Blizzard came out and said that this was the intended outcome, but admitted that it wasn't an ideal situation. A lot of you guys gave feedback to Blizzard through posts and comments saying that this doesn't feel right and should be changed. Eventually, Blizzard did reconsider their stance, and now Brand into Echoing Ooze will grant 2 extra copies.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
The reason why I'm telling you guys all of this is because given the huge amount of reports from the community regarding Cthulhu, it's entirely possible that something I demonstrated today shouldn't be the case. For example, maybe Twin Emperor Valkor shouldn't activate if the player doesn't have a Cthulhu. You can argue it both ways, I feel. And it's really up to you guys to decide which ones feel right and which ones feel wrong. You might have a problem with the wording, you might have a problem with the behavior, but keep in mind, the general approach of Blizzard is to keep things simple for 99% of the cases instead of introducing complicated text or rules in order to cover 100% of the cases. Whatever your opinions, please leave them in the comments below or on the forums or on social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, as Blizzard does watch these videos and they do read the feedback. And again, if you want to discuss these interactions with myself or other Hearthstone players, just hop onto our Discord server at discord.gg/toast. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. I love all of you. Don't forget to eat some toast.
Hey, lights out.